It's funny how I have to catch myself on this, but it's very true. How we interchange. When you're a polarity integrator, you're catching yourself between one and the other, between an inverter and a converter, a transformer. When Mother Nature is giving us what we need, like I go outside and I pick, the fruit here is just unbelievable. And it's powerful stuff. There are some oranges out here that helped clear up my lungs when I was getting hit with a lot of radiation, right? The bioaccumulation stuff, because if you followed my roadmap, particularly growing up in Southern California, all the experiments they were doing with hitting people with a lot of radiation, that doesn't even include all their dew weapons and everything else they do here, which is against the law of one. That's the whole, that was the driving purpose of my last video about space arcs, is the fact that when you have an orange that comes off a tree, that's a gift. She's giving that to us. And it's got high alkaloid content, which essentially means when you're measuring the difference in pH between acid and alkaline, she's a healer, the goddess of health and wellness. Okay? So she's gifting you healing medicine. You're not having to pay for it, which means why would you go into big pharma, which is AI, and get something that's binary to heal you when she's a healer, which is trinary? Okay? Okay, so that's why when I was a little kid, I want to go be with her, right? With her energies, her spirit. Yes, it's who she is. Are you crazy? Okay. So I have to catch myself, the inverter and the converter side, when I mentioned how they take from nature, okay, and then they invert it. See? Because it becomes an artifact, which means it becomes dead. So they're taking living electrical musical plants, and then it becomes dead. That's an inverter. Okay? Their mind, their consciousness is inverted. So what does an inverter naturally do? But it's unnatural to do it because it's inverted. Okay? Now we're into, they destroy the water worlds, Oppenheimer. Okay? They're inverted. So, which means if they're experiencing what love is as creative energy, then they're using the love that they are in energy to create what love creates in their mirror. So they're experiencing what love is in their mirror. So what they experience in their mirror is what love created. Now they're experiencing the love they have for all creation. That's natural. Nah, like nah, baho, nah, NA, N equals 0. So they don't experience the integration with one. So I am one. A monopole. A single cell. Then you have multicellular organisms, daughter cells, right, from the branch of mankind. So sometimes that's called self-correction, which is recalibration, although it's re-going back. No, there's always been what love is. It goes on forever. So it's and this is you know, it's how it works because of all the programming to be inverted, reversal currents, reverse fire letters, reversal speech, reversal sound, right? And so this is when you get into the minus one or the minus I, you know, the complex number space. And then the, and so I'm finding myself doing this now when I put things up with the minus I to the I, which means plus. It means it doesn't necessarily need a sign. But if you had an I and an I, you know, between a minus and a plus, it would just simply be I. But in this particular case, when you think of the negative, and the deletion or an eraser to delete it or remove it, or if you will, when you have a calculus, right, a regular calculator, when you're experiencing something next, then that would be like a 1 or simply next. I've never thought when I was a child about numbers per se, even though obviously numbers are energy, the way we use bean counters, right? Counting beans, counting numbers, count, number counters, random number counters like at Princeton. See, so when you experience being what eternal love is through your own heart, there isn't any time. Because what happens is, because I experience it this way, is that when you're only experiencing, when I said only, on, right? The light is always on. You're experiencing eternal love through your heart. So you're on fire to give away energy. Particularly when you're in an environment where others aren't experiencing one. So now when they're experiencing the difference between what they were experiencing and what they're now experiencing as a felt moment, then the opening and closing of those magnetic circuits are now experiencing the one, or a monopole. They're experiencing free energy because they realize that they're not having to use their energy in order to experience that energy. They're experiencing that vibrational energy, which is going to raise theirs because now they're experiencing the higher frequencies from which it came and sent a signal that their DNA is now picking it up. That's silent running, which means I don't have to say a word. And they will feel the energy. The antenna will feel the energy, the vibration energy. And when they experience what love is as the energy, wow. But it's obvious that there are those that live in fear of that energy. Now we're into the word live. It's alive, when in fact it's dead, which is dead light. So there is living spirit in living light with a soul. And then there's dead light, which is not living light in living spirit. So you know that that represents a fallen spiritual system. So you're experiencing the living light, which is what love is, in you with your soul, but you're now translating and experiencing those that don't because they're dead. It's dead light. That's a dead spirit. That's known as the zombie apocalypse. They're not experiencing what love is in their own heart and soul. Being what love is, because the state of being, which is the state in which they're experiencing what they're experiencing at that moment, at the time those magnetic circuits are opening and closing, if they are experiencing the felt moment of a magnetic moment, what love is, they're experiencing the source from which creation is made manifest out of what love is. Right? So that's what I am. So when you realize you've been exposed to an enormous amount of weaponry, which is really poison, like the little Disneyland ride when I was a kid growing up at Disneyland. And I've shared this story many times, but it is fun. Because you're having fun with these Masons because they're playing games with you. So I knew when I was a kid or a young adolescent, and we used to go on that ride, which was Snow White, right? What is it? Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. One pill makes you larger. One pill makes you smaller. The blue pill and the red pill and all that. We used to love to go on that ride because the objective was to take the apple, the red apple. So now you're into the teacher, right? And the apple of our eye, the apple, right? The apple heart, right? And then you see how the heart is put together, right? That's why I do this. That's the blade, right? And then when you go like that, that's love. That's the chalice. Open up the sphere, open up the light. Allow the light to shine and radiate in all directions like a star, a sphere. So the center point of the sphere, which is what I am, which is the law of one, is now gifting you all eternal unconditional love through my heart and soul to all of you. See how the heart goes out, comes back in, goes out, comes back in. I breathe with the sun that way. See the V? The vortex. The vortex comes back to compress. Now that's the heart. We're gifting you love. We're gifting you love. We're gifting you love. We're gifting you love that goes on forever. That's the branch of mankind with Adam and Eve. We're gifting all our children eternal unconditional love, so that the soul and the spirit doesn't experience anything less than what we are, which is eternal unconditional love from whence they came. That's born in heaven. Palms, the blade, the chalice, mama's flower, FM, female, male, are joined as one. Joined as one. Joined as one creation. Joined as one with all creation. That's a monopole. A polarity integrator is seeking to pull everybody together into the all creation so that the all creation experiences being loved by us. That's who we are. We give love to all creation. Which means we're the energy that helps it grow. The energy that grows a seed. The energy that generates the seed. We're the seed generators. And when you're a seed generator and you're with a flower and you're always with the flower, then you're the seed and the flower as one. There isn't any separation. Which means we're all connected through what love is. When the all creation is experiencing what we are, they're experiencing what the law is. That's an eternal law. That's why it's not negotiable. Because it can't be one or the other. That's the genius of the law of one. I am the law of one. I am what love is. It goes on forever, loving all creation, because that's what I am. I am in love with all creation. So that's the engine of creation. We're the engines of creation. So the love that we are is the energy that we use to create our worlds. We live in worlds where we experience what we are, which is what love is. It goes on forever. So we're not a corporation. We're forever. Forever. A four-square tetrahedron. We're on fire. So the spirit of fire is the spirit that purifies the light so that our children experience how powerful that light is to experience from whence they came when they come into a spiritual realm. They experience the father and the mother joined as one, experiencing love that goes on forever, so they do not ever experience any harm from their parents. They experience the purity of the light, which is the purity of the spirit that is in that light, integrated with the soul, that soul and that spirit that comes into that realm knows who their parents are, from whence they came. That's being born in heaven. Heaven is an experience. Heaven is a moment of experiencing what love is as the most powerful energy, sound magicians. We are original musicians. So we naturally tune in to the waves of the music. So we love to dance. My first instrument was a drum. We dance to the rhythm of the drum. Between the female and the male, the higher octave of a goddess that consumes us with the fragrance of her flowers. So the seed giver is consumed by the essence of all the flowers. So when you are experiencing all the flowers from her, you want to experience, as I do, the essence of those flowers in me. So I am just as much the essence that she is, feeling her being what I am, as she's able to experience in her what I am as the seed. So the seed and the grower become one. The grower of seeds and growing creations. Silence is golden fire. Emerald fire, my love. We love you all. We love you all. We love you all.